Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Forever and Ever, the Killie Fans podcast, with me, your host, Callum Michael Scott. We joked last week on the pod that I was going to panic. I was going to be like Garth for Wayne's World when I was left with responsibility. So I've not only just got one guest, I've got two. Of course, the self-dubbed heavyweights of the Kilmarnock support, man. Which, well, that was you. Come back to me on that.
No, I think it was you that said that, actually.
No, well, of course, they need no introduction, but we'll do it anyway. So, Baz Richmond and Sandy, how are you doing, guys?
Good evening, mate.
Thanks very much for helping us out.
Privilege and an honour to be here.
Aye, alright.
I'm
just wondering what my wife's going to kill me now because you called me Baz and never gave me my Sunday name.
And no Barry, so apologies for that, Barry. So, no, well, you guys have obviously been on the podcast a few times, but what about the surroundings in here?
You've done all the summer house lovely, mate. I mean, Paul's mum's done a fantastic job, you know. She spent a lot of money. No, it's fantastic. It looks great. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it looks the part. So I shout out again to Limelight Studios and Stu, who does everything for us, and it's absolutely top class. So we just recorded the Patreon with Peter Canero there, so you guys both subscribe to the Patreon. So would you encourage our fans to sign up for it?
Aye, certainly.
Aye, what about you?
100%. I think every Killie fan should sign up, mate. I think when you look back, always compare it when we started out and we were doing, Baz was doing on the website and everything, I was doing the fanzine and stuff. There was part of it was because there was nothing getting out there for the fans. It was so limited, and we were just doing it to try and get, you know what it's like as a Killie fan, you might read Killie stuff and there was nothing coming out of the club, so we were doing the best we can. But see now, the likes of you guys and what you do and the Chronicle and the Killie View boys, it's absolutely fantastic.
It's night and day, innit?
For £1 a week or something, I mean, I know money's tight and stuff, but if you can afford a fiver, just get it signed up, mate.
A legend, man. Thank you very much for that. So, yous are both looking good, but yous aren't looking as good as I saw yous on Saturday night and at the Park Hotel. So had a full day at the hospitality, so you want to talk to us about that?
What do you want to know about it?
Well, was it a good day, first and foremost?
Well, you can't really say it wasn't a good day. As soon as the result goes your way, everything else gets kind of washed under the carpet a wee bit, kind of thing. There'll be some great company, obviously. And
that's me he's talking about.
Of course it is.
Well, aye.
Was it the full Boozehounds reunion, aye?
Oh, aye, there's about 16 years.
Aye.
I mean, that's a lot of...
Was Bullet there or not?
There's about 45 chins there with 40 to 16.
Which is no bad considering with a 15-seater bus.
Bullet.
18 folk at the reunion.
Bullet had been there, we wouldn't have made it with a crash at Glencairn Square or something.
Aye, well,
it was a great day. I'm a beer drinker, so I thought them like, get a beer, but I will get a few halves and taste that and all. And I don't drink spirits. It's a Bailey's. My normal is at the end of the day, if I'm kind of full up with the beer, I'll have a few wee Baileys. 1 o'clock or something Saturday I was starting to drink the Baileys.
For 1 o'clock?
Oh aye. I mean Baileys obviously is quite mild compared, you know what I mean, it's no whiskey, but aye, that was me. But I was hearing about the back of 9 and alright, mate. But it's what it says, the football makes it, doesn't it?
Aye, well,
absolutely fantastic.
That's it. So we'll obviously come on to that, but again, in more important matters, when you're talking about the hospitality and drinking beer, no pints anymore. Controversial subject.
No, just the bottles. Although, to be fair to them, they had buckets with bottles with ice in them and stuff like that, which was not too bad. They were there for when we went in. Although you get in later now than we used. I mean, everything changes. I remember what it was used to be like years ago, and it's nothing like that anymore at all. You're in there later, you're not in as long, you're back out earlier and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it was fine to start with that. Food's exactly the same as it was 30 years ago. It's still chicken with yellow stuff.
Chicken with yellow sauce, lovely.
I've never seen Scooby what it is. I think Ernie still supplies it. It must be, but obviously the game makes it a bit. By the time you get back down the stair though and get a drink, that's you out now though.
Aye.
Aye.
That's it. No, it's changed days with that. But on to the game then. Brilliant result. I was on here 2 weeks ago saying I thought St Mirren were looked head and shoulders kind of above us in the cup game. Maybe head and shoulders a bit an exaggeration, but looked like they could maybe go up a level or two and they controlled the game. Certainly wasn't the case on Saturday. We were top class, weren't we?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, especially on the back. I mean, back-to-back wins, it doesn't seem a big thing, but it is a big thing for teams like us in a tight league. It's a huge thing. But on the back of that, it's the nature, the performances have been superb the last 2 weeks. To me, one big difference is I like Big Dacker's great touch and stuff, but he was kind of getting played before, and maybe Daniels was on the team sheet, you thought, two up front. Daniels was never playing next to him. He was in the midfield against Celtic, Mark McGregor, chasing back, destroying the studio, my big fat thumb.
No, you're right.
Chasing back Dean Evans, he was never next to Dackers needs somebody next to him. He's never strikes me as been 20 goals a season. He'll get his share, but see, as soon as we Anderson up at Dundee United, it's next to him. It's different. There's all of a sudden there's a partnership there, and they're playing off each other. And it was again the same on Saturday. You know, Dackers was coming deep, and then Anderson's making the run in long in behind. The first goal, I think you're going to mention the part that Killie played in it. It's fantastic. If you will see it again, it's fantastic. He gets clattered now. It's brave.
Great ball through. Anderson showing a bit of pace. We've got a question about that. We'll come on to specifically. But you and I were obviously up at Dundee United together. But refreshing again to see the same team starting.
It was, and I think they deserved it, because you see the way they played up at Tannadice. Again, Kiltie for me was a lot more to do with it than he gets credit for. I know everybody else is getting a lot of credit for this stuff, but I thought he did a power of work as well, and he did it again this week, and that's why he got to start again.
In Dackers, as you touched on, Sandy, for me that I think that he's actually getting better and better now, because what you just said, we're utilising him properly now. I thought his best game for us was against Celtic beforehand. I thought it was the best I'd seen him in there. But I thought at the weekend there, you can now exactly see why he's there and what we're set up to do.
What I like about Kettlewell, we'll come on to him obviously later as well, but I think he sees project players, and especially he's got a good record with strikers, hasn't he? And I think he sees Dackers as a project that he can improve and build on. And tying into that, you see when they scored and all that, how they spoke about how much work they've been doing in the training ground with him, putting in loads and loads of work with headers and stuff, and that's how he does the wee celebration obviously. But I think they see Dackers as a kind of project player, and a player that you could hopefully, you know, improve and maybe get a bit of money for it at some point, and likely, you know, an extended contract. But I think all over the park, I mean, as you say, the settled team. I'm a big Polworth fan, I like Polworth, but I thought, especially in the cup game, it tended to be a lot more physical, which didn't really suit him. And so I thought on Saturday, as much as I'm delighted they kept the same team, I thought he'd maybe have brought in Lines for Polworth, and he didn't, which was great. Because the Lines, you would think, probably should be one of the first names of the team. Do you know what I mean? He'd be a starter normally.
He's captain, isn't he? So that was exactly what we spoke about on here. I thought, if anything, that would have been the change, and it was obvious change, particularly with playing St Mirren under the conditions. But conditions were key as well. I thought the fact of the matter is we just played them better than St Mirren. The conditions,
well, they put the same team out as well. So technically it should just have been matching up the same way as it was the last time. So obviously the only thing that's changed in between then is the coach. So he's coached them, and he played well. The weather's a wee bit to do with it, but it's difficult to play long ball that they play. With the weather's like
that's
that.
Exactly the point I was about to make. Somebody made it in one of the forums and said
probably
part of the thing, seeing the first game, like managing that, their pace and that was causing a lot of problem, wasn't it, in that first game. They couldn't get the service to them in the conditions, and I think that was part of it.
Well, I think the key thing in Saturday for me was, and this is not taking in a wave phase, because we were excellent for them, but it was the timing of the goals completely, like, you know, that puts us in ascendancy. You know what I mean? We're up 2-0 within the space of about 5-6 minutes or whatever, which is just something that we're not used to. And then it was easy street for there, but the game management was tremendous, and again, lessons learned for the likes, even the first game of the season against Livy, been up 2-0. I know there's the air factors, obviously a man getting sent off and a penalty and all the rest of it, but I thought the game management was excellent, and as you guys said, that the style of football was evident to see at the weekend.
Totally agree. I mean, the game management has been the same in Dundee United, and then again on Saturday, brilliant at no stage. I mean, with the old snake last season, it mean, score a goal and like stick another centre half one, wasn't it, pretty much? I mean, it's totally different. We're at no stage against Dundee United, and at no stage in Saturday did I think we're a bit of bother here, they're going to get back into it. If anything, we should have scored 4 in each of the 2 games, I think. Do you know what I mean?
I thought we were going to have to stop the game to replace a Watson shaped in the back of the net. He's going to burst right through it, I think.
Well, to even go on that, we'll just come on to that first goal. Spoke about Kiltie's role in it, great ball through. I actually think Anderson's touch at the time, I thought he taken it too wide, but having seen it back, he does everything right. Like you can see the pace. St Mirren just get back in quick. It's actually a brilliant shot for him as well, with his weak foot right across the goalie. Usually when you see drags wide or whatever, or doesn't bother the goalie at all, but Watson, man, 10 yards inside his own half. Like
Sports Scene highlighted it, didn't they? They showed you where he started, and as you say, Anderson does what I suppose the classic, who would you call him, Alan Russell, that played was, and he was a striking coach. Exactly, he'd be coaching him as across the goalie, because if he gets it, it's just going to be, palmed back out type thing, more than likely, and that's exactly what he did. He did the correct thing, put it across him. But watching the desire, the heart, the pass, just what he get there, there's nobody else in the park you would see doing that.
That's
and
exactly.
Just watching, that's how, as Baz says, it was like old Forrest Gump, he was going to hit the Howard if the net wasn't there. So fantastic.
And the second goal, Dackers, as he did, brilliant, but the work again, Anderson plays his part. Great touch through, slips through James Brown, who, by the way, gets man of the match, and without a doubt his best game of the season and also far. What a ball in, but wasn't it? Unbelievable.
It was a cracker. I don't think he deserved man of the match. I had to give it to Dackers.
Dackers was my man of the match, I know.
But he did well, and he did better than the week before, and he did alright the week before as well. So he just seems to be getting better all the time. So,
well, as Sandy was talking about, when you're talking about extending contracts and all the rest of it, for me, you've got 3 or 4 guys there now that, well, I mean, David Watson's the obvious one, but again, I think everybody's in unison with that one. But I mean, Dackers, for me now, you've got to get him signed up, like whether it's an earlier extension. Thompson at left wing back, I know you're just seeing him getting better week on week, aren't you? Week on week, you're now seeing him starting to open his legs up and actually get up and down that left hand side.
And he plays with a smile on his face. The 2 fullbacks were great. I mean, before Saturday, I would have said Brown, even at Tannadice, solid game, but to me he looked good, solid number 2 right back, if you know what I mean. He comes in on Saturday, puts in certainly a performance that was one of the candidates. Certainly he got the man of the match, but you know what I mean, there was 2 or 3 of them could have got it, but it was superb. So all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, well, is he going to be the number 2? Because me and Baz were talking about it in the car there, the likes of, we've got Brandon and Brannan, and both of them are pretty much midfielders that have went back to right back. And when Brannan was midfield, he was a youth player, and it was only, you said it was up in
Inverness, they wanted him to play.
Well, you've already chinned me for that, haven't you?
I've chinned everybody says that's him back in his natural position, the right hand side. It isn't his natural position. He played from but that's not to say he can't play there. Played really well there. We've seen how well he played in the left as well. In fact, he was outstanding on the left, I would say, even more so than the right.
A top scorer.
I'm really dying to see what it'd be like in the centre of midfield, given the chance. Problem is now though, who do we drop out?
well, due to Baz's influence, pulling us up a bit. That even though I was familiar with him being a centre mid, but I loved him at right wing back. But I completely agree, and he's one that you're itching to see in there, to see what can be done. I mean, he's been shifted about left wing back, right wing back, and doing a bit of everything. Right, the risky, because we could go through basically every single player and talk about how good things were at the weekend. The main thing for me is what Sandy touched on. And no, Baz actually about talking about it was the exact same teams, same lineups, whatever. It's the manager. We said on here ourselves, we'll ken a lot more about this team in 2 weeks' time when we play St Mirren again. And he definitely learned his lesson, and Kettlewell deserves all the credit in the world, doesn't he?
Oh, definitely, aye.
So he's one. He obviously had a lot of stick and criticism. There's a question about that as well, and I'll not like what was said in the group chat between the 3 years at that time either, because I'm not the one that's publicly aired my views on that. So folk are always saying to me, you don't like him, do you? I goes, no, I just said it at the time.
You'd be older and cleverer. Saying into that in public.
But it's now turned into a good start to the season. It's turned into even a very good start to the season.
Absolutely. We should be unbeaten. I mean, we're cheated obviously with the Celtic penalty, but having said that, obviously, I was talking to my mother while at work, and I said, see the only game this season immediately should have been pumped was Motherwell, I think, wasn't it? That really was. But I know, I mean, the manager's starting to look like a good fit for us, isn't he? I mean, I think the kind of key thing when they got him in, I think it was all to do with player trading and getting the right age of player and the right type of player in to build them up monetary wise and get them sold on for decent money. And I think that's what I mean. I know Watson's family. I spoke to me and Baz were sitting next to him at Motherwell, the family, and he loves playing under Kettlewell. I know that for a fact. He loves playing.
He's definitely getting the best out of him, man. There's no doubt about that.
Off. Well, who you boys said last season, get him first, get him as the captain. I totally agreed with everything you said. Get him as captain, build the team round about him pretty much. And there's folks saying, well, he wasn't very good last season. He wasn't very good because he was getting brought on for an hour hooked, or he was getting the last 20 minutes. He was not getting a run of games, and it all started with that bruise that laid down the kind of the marker as to what the manager was thinking. So he was totally mismanaged yet again.
Certainly another one playing with a smile on his face as well. That's for sure.
Well, it was somebody that actually put in the forums, and I completely agree with. And again, it seems easy, and again, this is one Baz's chin does for to stop talking about last season and McInnes and that. But you're like, what? I know we need to get an hour out of this. Get, I mean, we need to talk about Derek McInnes all the time. But
it's one of the clanger things for us, isn't it?
Let's just talk about how much we want to beat Hearts a week Saturday.
We're going to come on to it, don't worry. But the goal, I just don't think that happens under McInnes, whereby he's got that freedom to just go and do what he wants. If anything, there was times that folk were saying, Kenny's a Duracell bunny and all the rest of it, he never runs out of energy, but at times folk were saying that was a criticism under McInnes because he was abandoning the shape, but see now they're just like, just let him do whatever, because he's basically got a free role because he's got that protection in the middle of the park and the team's now been built around about him.
And looking at the opponent's point of view, how do you mark somebody like, how do you know what I mean? It's like Celtic playing McGregor, he sits here, so other teams try and put somebody on to do. How do you mark Watson, who covers every blade of grass and who does everything? I mean, going back to the two goals, the first goal at Tannadice and the second goal on Saturday, fantastic goals, absolutely brilliant goals, the two of them, that wouldn't have happened, I don't think, under McInnes, because the players going into positions where McInnes probably didn't encourage it. I mean, Tannadice's goal I thought was a fantastic goal. If Polworth hadn't been playing, it was one of the ones. He brought in Polworth he brought in Anderson. Polworth and Anderson, that goal wouldn't have happened with the other personnel. That's the point. Polworth plays a great body to season. Anderson's got that instinct, you know what I mean? Great touch, but Watson again plays a fantastic role in it, just a wee cushion pass.
I think a lot it's got to do with the guys continually playing in the positions that they either like playing in or want to play in, or have been training to play in, and they do that during the game, and we're not just changing the tactics to try and counter what the other team are doing. We're playing our own game, and we did that, and I was really surprised up at Tannadice. We went and they just stood off us, and that's what gave us the space to do it, because they didn't know exactly what we were doing, and folk are like, the United were rubbish. No, they're no rubbish.
No.
The United are a really good team, and I've seen them playing really well. They just couldn't play against us because they were standing off us to see what we were doing, and we get right in about them.
Well, this is to give Rory Loy a bit of credit on Sports Sound. I think that they were, again, folk were saying that St Mirren, they were saying, St Mirren had an half day and all that, and then no giving Kilmarnock the credit, and then he goes, and Dundee United had an half day last week as well. Who were they playing against? Kilmarnock, you know what I mean? So let's start giving them a bit of credit. So sorry, on you come in, Sandy.
Point is, just on the same kind of subject at Tannadice, when McInnes, I'm saying, going back to McInnes, but watching them at Tannadice, you could tell how hard they'd been working on the training ground. They'd been working on something. You could see when so and so get the ball for them, they would press here or they'd stay back, or, you know what I mean? You could tell they'd been well coached, and you thought, there's a team that's been coached that's working. See, under McInnes, did that happen?
Well, this is a big thing, and it's what we've been saying, even though I started to, came after that the last a couple of weeks beforehand, but never seen it. You can definitely see what we're trying to do. Again, at times I think the folk maybe over exaggerate how good the football is, but it's a welcome change, there's no doubt about that. But you can definitely see patterns of play in the likes of Dackers and that, and how Dackers, Watson, how key they are, and now the wing back. So that's now coming to fruition. Right, well, we're now sitting third, get the international break, 2 wins in the bounce. We come to Hearts in a few weeks, which we'll preview properly when Monty's back for Portugal. But how much do you want to beat them, man? You want to go?
Come on, you go first.
Listen, I at the start of the season, before we knew how we were going to play, before we knew anything, all I wanted to do was give them a doing. Didn't matter where we finished, didn't matter anything. See, as long as we gave them a bloody nose, I'll be quite happy. Now it's looking so much better than that, if you know what I mean. If the league's so tight though, and I know a lot of folk are getting carried away with it, and it's great because that's what football's all about, isn't it? You want to get carried away, you want a deal like Saturday. everything's on the up, it's looking brilliant and all that kind of stuff. But you see how tight the league is. I mean, there's literally a couple of games in it. You could be doing it at the bottom. You're sitting in third. What chance did you think of that was like 4 weeks ago or something like that?
No, well, exactly what you said.
Tannadice, who could have went bottom of the league, am I right in saying that?
I think you're right, aye.
No, we're sitting third. That's how tight it is. And the only ones that are getting away are Hearts, and obviously Celtic are still there and thereabouts. But if you give him a bloody nose, I think that some people will be looking at that and thinking, we're doing a minute here, maybe Rory Loy's right.
Aye, without a doubt. What about you, Sandy?
Oh, absolutely itching for it, mate. Absolutely itching for it.
Brilliant kick-off time and that, and at the Saturday night and all that.
On
That
the telly, they're going to fill that stand. Hopefully we'll maybe get, what will we get? 5,500 to 6,000?
You'd like to think so.
Make it about 10,000 crowd roughly, just close to it anyway. It'd be a fantastic atmosphere. The troops will have been in the beer during the day, obviously. Aye, so I set up for a great game, and aye, just absolutely fantastic to beat them. Brilliant, especially as Baz says, the circumstances, how they've started the season and stuff. You know, but totally agree with. But we said, I mean, we're the most fickle fans, aren't we? After every game, we totally change our minds to what we're thinking about. I mean, I always say maybe give the manager a full round of games or give him up to Christmas or whatever, and then judge. So that is what we just still do, because in 2 weeks' time, 3 games or something, we could be heading back doing the bottom, the nether regions. So
I'm going to disagree.
We're a bit temper the enthusiasm a wee bit, but I love seeing all this stuff. There's a wee start a Europe thread on the forum and stuff. I love all that. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
I don't think we're the most fickle fans, because I know too many fans through the trust and Dane all that. Every set of fans is the same. Every set of fans has got guys like that, and sets of fans who are.
I'm proud to be fickle.
Doom and gloom. I think it's just Scottish football. Probably not even Scottish football, probably just football.
Aye, and again, it's just
up and down like that. If we could all no get carried away, what's the point?
That'd be boring.
So,
well, this is it. Well, the risk of sounding like a broken record, which I do, because I've all got my catchphrases that I say here, but I'm like, we can't get too high and can't get too low after all the defeats. That's been my mentality for the word go. Folk were saying I was negative the other week there about when we're getting beat or even after the backy wins, but I'm like, as Baz said, at least let the first round of fixtures get round, table will start to take shape, and then we take it from there, because as we just said there, we're sitting in third, which is great, but 2 weeks ago we could have been bottom of the league. The league's tight, we're picking up points, we're winning games now, which is huge.
At least we're in there.
Aye, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? We're in there the same as everybody else. There's nobody can cut away or anything like that, and that's fine. And I know Aberdeen and the Huns are doing there, but they'll probably come up the table a wee bit.
You would like to think so. I wonder whether Derek McInnes will be the next Rangers manager. I can't see it, it's never going to be, is it? But just to get another mention of McInnes in there before we finished, alright.
Nicely done.
We'll move on then to the show and tell. You just want to tell us what you have brought in with us quickly?
Aye, certainly, mate.
Then you just ken what cameras you have to look into just to hold it off it. There you go, and then that's it.
No, I was going to bring in the fanzine. I thought I'll bring in the number one issue that happened. When I was in my box looking at it, there was a Killie Kane sitting, and the reason I got into the fanzines was the Killie Kane, Richard Cairns, and I thought I'd just bring this in and just say a few nice words about Richard, because obviously he recently passed away. Absolutely great guy, involved in everything, wrote the fanzine, wrote the match programme. I'll give you a good story. When I was still young, it was Terracing was still there anyway, and Richard was always did a good job, well spoken, intelligent guy. So I'd never actually been at a game, so it just so happened where we were at, it was a home game at the Terracing Rugby Park, stood next to Richard's, and it was an innocuous bod down the line, and they gave the shy against us, and Richard just exploded into the most swear words in 1 minute you've ever heard, and I was stunning like, what? And that was his thing, wasn't it? Officials, he absolutely hated officials, just went mental. And so that was my first experience, and absolutely brilliant guy. So sadly I miss him. And I seen the Killie Kane, which was a fantastic, I see this one was in January 1990. Sleaton finally takes charge of Killie, because he was leading a good fight for the fans' point of view about for the takeover, because there was loads of stuff going on there, and it was fantastic. So just to be sadly miss Richard, and thanks for all the great work with Killie Kane.
That's a great tribute, man. So and well said. Echo those thoughts.
I used to go to reserve games and youth games and that kind of stuff at Rugby Park, and if you walked in late or anything like that and wasn't sure where to sit or anything like that, you just waited to the first bad decision. You could hear Richard saying, "Are you okay? Out there."
Brilliant. What about you, Baz? What you brought in for us?
Right, I brought in a Go Fame.
Yes. Which is what? Because I asked you, what's that?
Aye, well, as far as I'm aware, it's one of the first ever books to get into print about Killie, and it's the story of Killie and how we won the league, etc. But it's right for 1869 through to 1969.
Super.
When I was born.
Oh, there you go then. Man.
So it was before my time officially, but I couldn't bring in a PC with a picture of a website or anything like that, so I just brought that in instead.
Hugh Taylor, I think he was a sports journalist, right, for the Evening Times or some papers at the time.
There you go.
I had it for years and years without a cover. And it was only recently Big Jim said to me that he had a spare one that actually had a cover on it or something like that, so thanks to Jim for getting me that, and I've added that to my collection of Killie books.
That's
I'm pretty sure most people will have one.
Where do you got to write one? Where are the stories?
We discussed, see when we done the Standard, remember we were always going to do a diary, weren't we? A year in the life of a Killie fan, like.
You should.
The first, aye,
don't have a life
tits
now,
off you, honest you. Just revolve about burger vans and stuff, do you know what I mean?
I just had a plan for one. I was going to have one, and but it wasn't about the football club, it was about the fans. Because some of the stories you hear doing the years and that kind of stuff are brilliant, and they'll just leave and never be heard of again. So
right, well, I've got something to speak to you about off air in case in case you think we're stealing your ideas about the trade market. So we'll come on.
Here we go again.
A wee project.
Just trying to
see if you've got We Are Killie there. I'm searching.
We've been brought in here to be humiliated, Baz. Has anybody stormed out in one of your podcasts?
No,
you get me the papers. It'd be a bit of publicity if I stormed out here and kicked out a camera. Although Stu would not mute in the way out, probably.
No, well, yous are safe to know, but I've got something to speak to yous about.
All right.
So right, we'll move on to the Twitter questions. So the first one we've got is for Alessandro Boscanero, who's not Italian. What a difference 2 wins can make.
Is that one of the tropes that you've got to do as well?
You've got to. Monty's a lot better at it.
What is he though?
He's I don't know, I just ken that he went to the Joes and Mrs Marshall taught him. That's
all. Do you ken for a fact he's not Italian?
Aye. He's in words, but that's it. I've not got the DNA test sorted yet. No. Although we had Peter Carrero in, as we said, who is obviously a Spanish descent that was in there, so there's our Mediterranean connection.
Nice,
friend of the pod.
Kamala fans, that with a new one. These are two friends of the pod that are here tonight. So what a difference 2 wins can make. Sneaked into third completely unnoticed. International break has come in at the wrong time yet again, but beginning to feel more optimistic of what's to come. So much relies on Davy Watson, which is great, but also a worry for if and when we lose him. So will we just address the contract situation now then? Because there'll probably be other questions, but we've covered most that, but with regards to the contract,
me and Baz were talking this in the car on the way doing as well. As I say, I wrote a bit in the fanzine about it. I mean, I spoke to his dad, and I was trying to pick his brains about the contract situation, and he was playing it coy and no saying anything, so that's fair enough. I wasn't wanting to say, right, come on John, what's the script? He loves playing under Kettle well. It's very much the opinion we let David do what he wants type stuff. Do you know what I mean? So for the parents' side of thing, they're a really good, lovely family. There'll not be any hassle for them. So I think, for their point of view, they'll let David decide. It's the agent, I suppose, is probably the issue. My concern is the longer it goes, because it's like the Bobby Wales, but see, the longer it went, the longer it goes, the majority of times isn't good news, you know, if you want to keep somebody. And so the longer it goes, obviously, for David's point of view, I still think it's 50-50-ish. If I was to be pushed, I would be a bit worried they wouldn't sign, but I don't know anything. So
the pessimist in me I'm just prepared myself for the worst.
I'm with you. I don't think he'll sign a deal now. I think if it was, it would have been done by now. I think that in many ways it would be daft not to, because
the only thing that goes against that is you look at how happy he is playing the now.
I know.
And you think, you see what's happened with other players, and there's no a lot of them that happens to Ian, the Lennon Miller situation and stuff like that. You only hear about that because it doesn't happen very often. You
are doom and gloom, don't give the pointers in misery. Well, we were talking about the thing is, there's ways of doing a deal where you're not going to hold him back when he goes. As Baz says, you could give him like 10% of the transfer fee or something like that.
I read that in the forums as well.
You did that off me. I tell you that.
Well, here we're all
claiming. I read it in the forums.
That was me who was talking about that now.
Maybe you wrote it in the forums.
Way up to
we're going to have a couple of legal cases against us.
Exactly.
We've been brought here and set up.
Yous are at it, man.
You've been set up here, Baz.
Because remember I told you that David McKinnon said
that. Try to get him back for the book idea.
Exactly. That's it. But
outrageous.
About what David McKinnon said when he was CEO.
Oh, that's right.
So that's where I got that for, is to take a chunk of the transfer.
I did see it before. Somebody else said something about him getting
Well, that was a Killie View that done that interview. So
it's the old Naismith situation, isn't it? I mean, Naismith signed a deal for Killie purely to get Killie money. That's how I don't quite get folk having a wee go at Naismith, because he made us a £2 million and they could have walked away and we'd have got nothing. So I think there's still a chance. Watson's a good guy, and hopefully there might be a deal structured that he'll accept, but it'll still be he'll still be away, I would have thought, relatively quickly.
Aye, well,
he's so good, you know.
Well, to move on to a bit more light-heartedness, and this is maybe one for you. After his X-rated performance at the Hospitality on Saturday, is it worth hiring Captain Conker as a lap dancer full time to raise money to the Davy Watson long-term deal?
There's a lot of deviants out there, like mutant squirrels, right enough, I suppose, and make a fortune. I've got a question for Captain Conker.
There you go.
How did he manage to get a poncho? That's a niche market, making ponchos for mutant squirrels. I mean, I don't think there's much money in that, personally.
Maybe that was something to do with what he's talking about when there's some kind of PVC thing on.
I was going to say, he maybe came straight to lap dancing.
He could have. Darren McIntyre, another great win in a game we didn't look under much threat, and shout out to Killie community for winning the Ayrshire Charity of the Year Awards, which was brilliant news, wasn't it? Like, you see that come out on the Friday that the charity won that. So again, keep up the good work, folks. That's excellent, and well done to Darren and everybody else involved. Christy Sykes, do you think Kettlewell has a burner account and seen all the tweets about fans' reactions when he got the job? Pretty sure he would be looking pretty smug about now. What do you think?
Well, there was infamously a poll running a kickback
95%.
I was going to say 90. I thought 90, but that was what I mean. My point of view was I was winning 90%. My thought was if is Kettlewell the best we can get, do you know what I mean?
That was my.
However, see, as soon as he's appointed, you back him. You know what I mean? You didn't want him in the first place, but you back him,
which is, to be fair, what most fans do.
I think it is. No,
well, that's that. And so again, just because I was daft enough to put my head above the parapet with that, it will never leave me, because folk will think that I'll not get behind. Whereas I have been behind him for the minute that he's for about a week after he got the job. So and that's it. And the Sykes is right.
It's not like you were holding placards up to get him removed or anything. Do you know what I mean? You have a point of view. It doesn't go your way. So you support the club. It's all to do with the club, isn't it? Not the individuals. And so you support the guy, and he's proven up the 90% rank, which is absolutely brilliant.
That's right, absolutely. Gavin Hilson undefeated away from home so far this season. Can we finally say that we've put the Killie away hood out of bed? I think we probably need another one or two before we can completely say that we've put the hood out of bed.
Well, what you've got to remember is under McInnes we were very lucky to have him, and nobody else could have had the worst away record in the world bar McInnes, you know what I mean? So it wasn't exactly a high bar that we had to say. I think we have kicked it into touch, because it couldn't have been any worse. Again,
that's it. That's a pessimist in me. But here's a good one, Fade and Lynn. In all your collective experience of away matches, which ground had the worst toilet?
It's got to be Scummersay, isn't it?
Aye, it's one big fucking toilet.
Open air toilet.
It's pretty straightforward there.
It's a no-brainer.
That's it.
I mean,
well, when I went,
ridiculous question, really.
Aye, well, it is. But story about toilets. Here's one that will hopefully not get me into trouble for the poll list. But
Captain Conker's known this, is he?
No. He's all good. He's all good. When the St Mirren's Grun was built, right, their new stadium, obviously the whatever it's called now. When they moved for Love Street, I remember there was and this is actually a good story, because it shows that the difference in the demographic if it was changed, right? Because I remember me and Big Stevie Krieg going to the game and thinking, I need to go for a push. Like, Ken, went down the stairs, walked into the toilets, and we're like, why is it all just cubicles, Ken? And didn't think twice about it, thinking, is this some kind of European thing? Went in, done the toilet, come back out, no another soul in there, didn't think anything of it. And it wasn't until about 65 minutes creeping back down to the toilet, he goes, mate, we were in the women's toilets and you're like, whereas now you wouldn't get away with that, because there's plenty of women that follow Killie away for him. But there you go. So there's a loosely based toilet story. Stephen Lindsay, aside for the obvious three, Watson, Lyons and Mayo, who else should we be looking at to extending their deal? Would you offer them deals immediately or wait? Dackers, Thompson, Brown, Stryike, Anderson seem the most. All of the above for me. I think they all probably deserve a wee extension. Alan Taylor, if we picked up 10 points every 7 games, we would finish the season around 54 points and well clear of relegation. See, that's what I'm talking about. Based on the number of draws in our position in the league, will Cal admit he was wrong about Stuart Kettlewell and got on the Ket train? I backed him from day one. He's lucky I'm not exposing him.
Are you on the Ket train?
I'm on the Ket train, mate. Aye. What about yours?
Well, I've always been on it as such. With no you know what I mean? Aye, absolutely. As I say, he's starting to look like a good fit for the club because, again, he looks like as if the players enjoy playing for him. You know, he looks as if he wants to improve individual
I never
players.
come out and said anything when he was signed or anything like that, publicly or anything like that, because you never know what's going to happen.
I've got it in the group chats, by the way. I've got it in the chats.
And it still might know.
Look what's happened.
Aye.
In a month's time, we might be saying, well, see, I was winning 90%. I tell you, we should.
Aye, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Listen, see if you could get held to account for every conversation you've ever had in the pub.
Oh, aye.
Could you imagine? This is social media though, isn't it? It is, it's social media. And fanzine writers and website
We're getting held to
builders.
account right enough for everything about books and stuff, mate. I'm worried here.
Well, we'll speak about it after, don't worry, lads. Right, the real boy day, here's one definitely for Sandy.
Oh, no.
Throwing back to my favourite Killie Hipple feature, Guy's a dick of the day for Saturday.
A dick of the day for Saturday. Baz, no. No, I was going to actually see when the awards were on the other week, the Ballon d'Or. I thought it could maybe come out with the Bellline d'Or to replace the dick of the day. I think that would work.
And you should do it.
The Bellline d'Or, I like it. I like it.
Dick of the day.
So, sorry?
I must have won it at some point.
You? I won it more than him, I won it at Barora, that's for sure. Who was the dick of the day on Saturday? A couple of St Mirren fans annoyed me. There was some in the hospitality who were a bit dickish, I think, at one stage, weren't they?
But with the
And there was one in Twitter that replied bit like a salmon back at me when I put on a thing saying great result against the media darlings or something. Oh, media darlings, Chris Sutton doesn't think that. Shut up, you Bellline d'Or.
Brilliant. Hutchie lad gets in touch after us conceding that Saints were the better team in the Cup. United fans saying similar about us last week. This falls in nicely to what Sandy's just saying there. Is it nice to see the return of St Mirren fans as tears, blaming Nick Walsh and everything by their team for their defeat? So that was exactly it. We were getting too nice the last few weeks. Ken hinking that football fans had moved on a wee bit and we're back to the tribalism that we all love.
What is it, Big Stuart says Pally Wally Pish or something like that?
Aye, so
Did you know a flag in the salt tire last week with the meaning of this Pally Wally Pish?
I think
I think he's lost it already.
I mean, I didn't think
Big Col McDonald's got it, isn't he?
Was he? Aye.
I think he did a new
I think
flag.
the referee, I didn't think he was
Walsh.
No, I saw one ridiculous dive for Anderson.
Aye, and he never gave it.
No, he never gave the foul, no. But they were, I don't know what they're complete. The only thing, the penalty, they could have, on another day they might have had the penalty.
Well, if we want to address the penalty quickly the now anyway, it's one of them. I'm happy that it's not a penalty. Neil McCann summed it up really well in Sports Scene. But do I feel sorry for St Mirren? Because 2 weeks ago that was a penalty again, like, you know what I mean? But then we've got away with one. It gets back to the point that we were all making, is that there's no consistency and nobody knows what constitutes a handball. No.
100%.
Move on. Greg Jamieson, I rejected it for so long as I felt it was forced, but I'm really buying into the rivalry with St Mirren the last couple of seasons. Probably the team that I want to win most in the league outside Old Firm. Win against most in the league outside Old Firm. How about you? It hurts, innit?
No, it's a kind of
This week.
But it's like false rivalry, isn't it? It's not a real rivalry. It's
We
just
don't
trying
want to stoop ourselves to
create
that
a
level,
rivalry. So no, I wouldn't go down that route myself. As much as I love beating them, obviously.
Aye, of course. Alistair McGee, don't know how to feel about this season. Feels like we could easily have more points, but not disappointed with where we are. Also, we need to just give Watson what he wants. Don't care if he's gone come June, just give him what he wants for now. So I agreed. If we can get him there and sell him one way or another, he'll not be playing with Killie this time next season.
You need to draw the line somewhere though. We just can't afford to
No,
give him what he wants. Where does that stop then?
Aye,
minute you him that and everybody else is wanting that too, and suddenly you got an unhappy ship there, and that's the bonus for us at the moment, is they're all playing like a team.
But I think the way around it is what we were talking about earlier. If you give them
incentivised,
absolutely, it's all based on the selling.
I mean, by all accounts, apparently he's quite well paid already. Not that I know anything, but I'm just.
Baz is definitely coming that for a man that's managed budgets afore, isn't he, man? And staff potentially. There we go. Graham Johnson just wondered if you'd seen the Edinburgh Derby. Standard was brutal and Hearts looked every inch of McInnes' side. Left the subs until after the 80th minute. They've obviously done well to be top of the league, but based on what I've saw, not much to fear.
Well, I didn't see the game. I know I made the comment on Saturday, Hibs Hearts games, because some boys were talking about missing it or watching it. In the past few years, they've been absolute shit. You know what I mean? The mere kicking matches most of the time. But I don't think there's any to fear for Hearts at all.
Unfortunately, they're dealing with some of the teams who were quite successful day, and they always seem to just pull one away.
They're winning games, aren't they? They're winning games.
Even when they're playing badly, they seem to have a wee mentality about them. I don't know how long that'll keep up though, because am I going to talk about Derek McInnes here? I don't see him as being.
We should just get him on one week, man.
We should,
deep dive into him.
I don't think
he'd want about $5,000 or something.
So Alan Bowie, 6 points and 2 back-to-back wins and clean sheets. It's been a good week. Bring on Hearts in the 18th. Agreed, mate. Would love to burst a bubble and send Del Boy home with his tail between his legs. We'll agree with that. Alan Evan, general consensus is that the squad this year is weaker than last year's under Derek McInnes. In your opinion, does consistency of selection trump individual ability at mid-table level, i.e. Stuart Kettlewell generally picks a settled side compared to consistent changes will finish higher than 24, 25. So I think the point that he's trying to make is that
need Dombola.
Aye, in this league, if you play a consistent team, compared to what we had last season, will we finish higher? I think we
That's
probably
what
will.
Baz touched on earlier. If you're playing players in their position that they're comfortable in and try and have some sort of consistency of selection, I think it makes a difference.
Kenny the Kilt, Big Dacker's got some amount of stick, but he's the perfect replacement for Vassell. Decent touch, bracket sometimes, and when the ball sticks he brings attacking midfielders into the game. Great in there too, obviously. Absolutely seen that in spades on Saturday, man. Stuart Snowden here, this is an interesting one.
I don't think Dackers is like Vassell at all.
But does he mean as the focal point up front?
I think it must.
I think he maybe means that, because I don't think that they're the same type of player. I think he means the focal point up front, which Vassell definitely was. So hypocritical view of the first goal on Saturday. Anderson's first touch was poor, taking him away from goal. If it had been better, he'd have scored himself and not needed Watson to bail him out. If Watson hadn't put that effort in to get to the box, it could have been a very different game. Thoughts on that? That's harsh.
That's harsh. That is harsh.
I think he's at it with that, man.
I do use a hard day. Tell him to go pour himself a wee beer and chill out, and he'll feel a little better about it. I thought Anderson done great at the goal. He did, aye.
Because I thought at the time watching it, I was like, I think he's maybe went too wide, but when you see it back, I don't think he can do anything else. I think he does brilliant. So I've got
Anderson, no goal.
Aye. Simple as that, mate. You're right. Robert Gilchrist, do you think the section here's one for you, Baz, to be fair, with the work that the Trust have done, do you think the section 1869 lads should be moved into the middle of the stand to bring more atmosphere? Lads are singing, but unless it's an old classic nobody can make out the words. Also bring back the half-time draw. So they're obviously never got to move that, but what do you think with regards to the standing section or the good work it's done?
Well, it's a physical impossibility because you can't put folk standing up there, the folk running about them all to be able to see. That's why that section's doing it the right hand side. I think there's maybe a shout now for extending it and making it a bit bigger and bringing it along.
But that space down the way though,
or doing that,
aye, because like that's always empty anyway. So
I heard the Youngians as well on the Moffat. I think they moved out of the standing section over there. I don't know if that's been asked to be moved, but because they were always on the left hand side, weren't they?
Somebody was saying that apparently the steward's been giving them a bit of a road deal and keeps moving them, which isn't good. Because
if you're moving them into the standing section, I can see why they're doing that, because it's meant to be the kind of breeding ground now for
but again, I don't know whether it was there.
There's been a few comments that's been quite quiet, a wee bit flat this season, and I think that's a fair comment at aim games. So hopefully a couple of wins and results make all the difference, don't they?
A lot of folk don't like it. A lot of folk don't like the drum going, that kind of stuff. Quite frankly, the more the day the better, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a huge fan by any manner of means. I'd rather they were singing something that we could all sing, but much wind in their sails, whatever the terminology is.
Oh no, absolutely. I think you see as well a lot of teams now are starting to put their ultras directly in the goal as well. Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen all do that, so I think that's in the Muffet Storm would be good, but folk will never ever leave these stands with all that.
That's what you call fans these days.
Ultras.
I'm talking about the section 1869, that's what they are.
I know.
Ultras?
Are they really ultras?
Well, I don't know. We'll put that out there.
I've got a
black. I don't like the fact everybody's got to be labelled.
I've got a black jumper. Does that make me a fat ultra?
A balaclava. Just make us lucky.
Aye, well,
the world's oldest ultra.
Hey, I always think it's a wee bit too.
That's Ali Calder, mate.
All these folk calling themselves ultra, and I know what they're after, and I know what they're trying to do, and I think they're doing an absolutely brilliant job, and long may it continue. I hate. It's almost like all folk calling them ultras. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose I don't
know.
I'm receptive to the.
It's a fortnight. The ultras abroad are a different breed altogether. I mean, some of the ultras run the club just about earlier, didn't they? And it's a bit the same with the old Pyro, it's like the old abroad,
you
it
see the
looks
match-
brilliant. Over here, it's like somebody lighting a match or something. It's
It's wild, innit?
It's mince.
It's wild. Gunnar Vance, it was nice to.
I've been waiting this.
The world's most handsome man.
Well, he is. Well, actually, believe it or not, I wasn't even got it. You just kept me right there.
Aye.
So the world, well,
You
Ayrshaw's
want to
most
see a
handsome
picture?
man.
You want
Aye.
a proof?
You want to see a proof?
We got one.
Aye, they reserve, mate.
No, I wouldn't have him as the world's most handsome man.
There you go, Gunnar, man. You've
Sorry, Gunnar.
got to get back at Sandy then.
Sorry, mate.
You're the most handsome man in
Jesus,
there. It was nice of the world to get back to the on Saturday after the United fiasco last week. The St Mirren fans had a proper wobble about the result. That was nice and easy. Never under any pressure. If we've got aspirations of the title, we need to be beating Hearts. So I agreed, mate. And as you said, good to see that tears were in full flow. Galak, do you have a player past or present you wish you could remote control? I'd love to have control over Dackers. There's a lot more to give. See, these are the questions that we get, man. You just ken this, just watch every week. This is brilliant. I would love to have control over Dackers. There's a lot more to give if he can just chase that bit harder, release that bit quicker, and not necessarily a criticism. Just think there's more to be had from him. So basically, is there a player that really frustrates you that you wish you could just past or present?
Dear. Harkins, me, Gary Harkins.
I mean, completely underperformed at Killie. You know what I mean?
The ability in the world. You know
was
what I mean?
amazing at every other club.
The same diet as me. You know what I mean? So, but what? This type of guy, he's into it with the ability. I mean, Eramenko. Imagine if Eramenko was a fitness freak.
Aye.
He'd been the world's greatest player, wouldn't he?
Exactly. But that's why we're lucky.
By a mile.
But you seen him now, even he's like ripped and all that, man. It's crazy. But again, it's still. Again, that's sort of a massive criticism that went against them. But as we always say, an earth cliche, if he had that, he would never have been at Killie.
No, I love these cliches. That's what we're only here for, the cliches, old boy.
So, Mickey Kemure, a couple of weeks back, I posted about our next 4 matches saying I couldn't see where our next points are coming from. Never been so delighted to be completely wrong. This is why I'm not a manager, is Watson the best midfielder in the league this season. I think Watson actually
I wouldn't swap him for anybody. I wouldn't swap him for anybody.
He has his own form, scoring goals. He's running amok, man. Yeah. But again, that means
Mikey's a part-time Boozehound lad. He's been in the Boozehound bus.
Is he?
Oh, aye, Mikey's been on a couple of ginger beers.
He's a good pyramid loyal now. He goes into the pyramid before the game. So, and I'm a massive fan of the podcast. Scott English are we at the point where we can say it's a good start to the season now, unbeaten in all the league games, and only getting undone by a dubious penalty. And at the time, I'm buzzing for the Hearts game now. Completely agree, mate. Greg Halbert, all the noises about a new deal for Watson, and rightly so. Did you see his clearance off the line with his chest in the second half? Aye, incredible. But just as crucial as a new deal for Mayo, plays every minute, rarely injured. To lose him in a free would be criminal. Worse than Bobby Wells. Lewis Mayo.
Aye, absolutely. I think he's a great season, Mayo.
I'm leaving the Watson.
Jink? That's a bold shout, by the way, man.
He was nearly away, apparently. Was he no, Mayo?
There was a rumour in the summer that he was linked to some league
Barnsley
team.
or somebody, was it?
Aye, Barnsley, but I don't know
Barnsley.
But see, the thing is, my fear would be him to Hearts, because I think that he would meet the criteria as well. I think he'd have all the stats to back up.
But enough centre half thing, right? You know. See, boy, Greg Halbert, he's in the. He plays in a group who are doing it. See the Winterstorm advertising the Winterstorm, so
aye, because that's right.
Everyone should go and buy tickets to see what they call it, the DJ, what is it, Colonel Mustard, is that
Dijon 5?
That's them, aye.
Oh, is he in that?
There you go then. Aye, there you go. Right. He said
get the tickets on, get Killie fans going down to the Winterstorm, aye.
What a plug that is for Sandy, despite nearly forgetting the band's name, and then, but that's what's up.
I have a complaint to make at the end of this, by the way, but remind me about it and I'll come back to you, old boy. Okay,
I look forward to it.
Colonel Mustard and the Dijon 5, sorry, Greg.
There you just go. Greg, and because Greg said that he was delighted when he bought the Killie Hippo, that obviously was on that. So, McRodders, should Rangers be made to keep their manager until everyone has had a shot? Seems unsportsmanlike to bin him now. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Right, answer that, Stu.
So there we go then. It'll be potentially a different Rangers team by the time.
Aye, that's unfortunately.
Presters, would you have swapped it? Would you have swapped that result for winning in the quarter final? Yes or no?
Oh, hard question.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I think you've got to see your dare win the cup to get a wee trip to Hampden. No.
Aye.
Albeit the league's more important, blah blah, but a trip to Hamden, we don't get that many.
One
So
game, you can get that back.
aye, that's right.
Very true, mate. But aye, still a great result. But again, if you're choosing between the two, you've
And
probably still
if we swap the results round, technically we'd have got a draw in the league, wouldn't we?
very
right,
true,
yeah.
very true. Monty, big shout out to Kegs Bar Albufera, which was the meeting point for the Algarve KSC on Saturday. Brackets, me and Taylor.
Is that the real money?
Well, it's so aye. Have a good show, lads. And another shout out to Stu, the producer at Limelight, for the brilliant work. Makes us all look and sound semi-competent. So there you go, you need to edit that one, so I didn't stutter that one. So, perfect, man. I deliberately done that just so as that
Sandy was talking to Monty earlier. The other Monty.
The other Monty.
Raymond Gummery.
He phoned me the day.
Did he?
He was. They were clearing some cupboard or something down at Rugby Park, and they come across a pile of Killie hippos. It's like
that must have been Johnson's bedtime.
they'll be worth like guts of what, 15 pence or something. I said just bin them, but I was telling him, because I thought I was maybe going to talk to. He says, Canero, tell Canero. He says, all the time he speaks to me, it's when Celtic's down here and he's wanting tickets and all that.
There we go, then.
I should have texted you and you could have a wee go at Peter.
I should have said that, man. He's very open about his allegiance, but he was he has
he
nothing
likes Killie,
but love for Killie, man, as well. Captain Conker, who was mentioned earlier on, is a potential stripper going forward, so that's one to potentially explore. Does Davy Watson do run the tune 10k as a pre-match warm-up? I would say so. When booking a holiday, should the travel agents provide information on where to watch the Killie game while you're away? That's a good one. And how good is it sitting third getting into the international break? I agree with all of the above, and that's one of the first things we do when we book a holiday, unfortunately during the same time as the season is
go to Salou. Where is it?
Where can I watch?
Albi. He's got the Shankly's bar in Salou. It's a good Killie boy that owns that. So
is that the place to
if
go?
You go to Salou, you'll get all the Killie games
You're
here.
plugging everything, man. Plugging everything. The Patreon, the band, that legend, man.
I've got to meet sponsors. I've got sponsors' money to collect here.
Taylor DA, last one. Very pleased with the revenge win. All thanks to the Presswick, Pirlo, Watson, and the Mancunian Duckman Dackers for their respective goals and silencing the Pandas crowned. I'm also happy that Robert Lefty won the St Andrews Golf Tournament yesterday by doing Scotland proud. Well, agreed with that. See, Justin Bieber was in St Andrews.
Was it?
Is that one that would appeal to you guys?
No.
Did you not have... Did that make up? Did you just have Justin Bieber t-shirts before or something like that? What, is a piss take? No, it was Ali and Paddy. It was Ali and Paddy that had that. It was a belter, man. Whereas I thought that was the Jews. Easily could get mixed up.
Oh, aye, very similar.
Aye.
I met Justin Bieber
You met Justin Bieber?
Aye.
Is this a bad dream you had?
What?
I was at the New York Knicks against the Portland Trailblazers.
Aye. And you met Justin Bieber?
I met him.
You saw him in the vicinity?
We were kind of up a wee bit and he was down there and I was drinking Guinness.
Well, the question when
maybe Justin Bieber. Somebody told me it was.
Well, again,
no, I can't what he looked like.
Well, that's not what we're interested in. What we want to ken is how did they smell?
How did they smell?
That's a question. So, did they smell good? Citrusy and woody?
No, I met somebody else outside the clergy and I can't remember his name now.
And that didn't smell good.
Aye, better cut that one out as well.
There we go then. So Martin Wolf of the Killie View, who's also on holiday in Portugal. That's a bit conspicuous. Both him and Monty away at the same time. It sounds to me
as if they're going to make the one big mega pod in your draft.
It sounds like that could be. So again,
you come in with us with our book.
Aberdeen,
you can join us and we'll let you off with the book if you
to do that, man. And I shout out to the Killie View boys. Laurie presented that yesterday and it was a really good listen for my usual commute to Alloa. On a Monday morning. So again, going over stuff that we kind of covered anyway. Watson, what more can you say other than Billy Bowie needs to chuck everything at him to stay unless you're Baz. 4 goal involvements in 7 league games, running the show against big teams like Celtic, not looking out of place. The goalie scores a tap in, but the 60-yard sprint makes the goal happen, as well as Bruce working the channels. If the net wasn't in the way, it was a Blair Alston Captain Conker moment all over again. Box to box shouldn't be used too much with players, but in young Dave's case, it's the perfect way to describe him. Scott Brown and John McGinn vibes when they were younger at Hibs and Celtic, no a bad shout. In St Mirren, we have a special player and we have to tie him down at all costs. If we don't, it's all on Derek and Peanut. More about him maybe later on.
I mean, he just looks like the complete midfielder now, doesn't he?
Does, aye. Well, that's it.
He looks like he can do everything now, really.
Well, we're waiting to come in when they swap him for any other midfielder
for anybody, man. For anybody. So,
in the world.
So that's that, and we're delighted with that, and we'll move on. So before we round off, lads, we'll do the all roads lead to Killie.
My complaint, but we'll come to that.
Alright. Oh wait, I've got Alan's gripe of the week. I nearly forgot.
I see there's an air complaint, aye.
So Alan's gripe of the week. I've got actually something else to say as well.
Oh no,
I've got a gripe about Alan's gripe of the week.
Yeah, well, there you go. You get the perfect retort. So Alan was annoyed because
he didn't
read out his question last week. I know that was on Monty, mate, but I nearly forgot about you there until then. So live from Blackpool, did you miss me? Well, I'm back like Arnold. Right, let's get down to business. Toilets. What is a decent toilet? See toilets again. What's a decent toilet? Well, certainly not the ones at Rugby Park.
It's a Killie Trust, but
the West Stand are a disgrace. Only one for men. We're not cattle. The ones in the Moffat are a total shambles. No hot water or decent paper towels.
Does he want some cattle feed at half time and stuff?
When were they done up last? I know the Trust have put out a memo about funding. I detest having to pay for what nature intended. Sometimes you need a gas mask. Anyway, come on the Killie, give us at least a bucket. I'm away to see the Seagulls, so he must be away to see Blackpool. Is that
he's not my Liverpool fan,
I know, but he's got a wee soft spot for Blackpool. I met
he's doing there,
at the weekend there.
That's my gripe about him. I got him a bucket hat to go on his holidays.
Oh, did you?
And see, every time you try and fin his bloody house, I always get parked the wrong bit.
Aye, well, at the risk of GDPR, but I can't exactly where you are. I've not got to disclose his address.
Sorry, Alan.
Not got to disclose his address. And Adam Lyon as well got in touch about the Eastview suite at the Park Hotel at the Trust were doing. I was up there on Saturday with Tam Black being there. Brilliant, but again, more folk need to go, man. More folk need to go. It's a brilliant setup, especially with the Park Hotel. Can't get a pint or anything anyway, so if you're a Trust member, go up the stairs and they're trying to get experts, quizzes and everything.
It's a great place to be. You just fall out and you're into the ground, so isn't it? Food, drink, guests and entertainment. What more do folk want?
Exactly, man. So it's a great meeting point, and I would encourage them that's a Trust member to go and utilise that space, particularly if you're in the Park Hotel anyway, because Jim had to come down and ferry folk up the stairs, because I genuinely, well, know that I keep forgetting per se, but I didn't know about the Tom Black being there.
You missed the 3 emails.
My emails, you don't even want to check them. There's an error altogether. But that was not. I get like promotional. I just didn't know about it. And Jim had to come down and say, by the way, got up the stairs, and then we did. So I'm thankful that I did. Right, lads, all roads lead to Killie, and then if we've got time, we'll get Sandy's gripe and whatever.
Raging complaint.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Aye.
Right. Killie Food Banks, as always, great work they've done. You guys know that better than them. Killie Con raised about $1,000 between the pairings for that. It's unbelievable. So Baz has got the night design t-shirt on as well, which done obviously a catalogue of brilliant t-shirts online there.
I was just thinking of
sorry, I thought you were going to say something though.
Greg, Colonel Mustard. You need to be asking him if he's wanting any t-shirts.
Aye.
Matthew was trying to get you to make him one, wasn't he?
You don't want to know what was on it though.
No.
He does right.
I'm nervous about that. Right, so
Frankie Miller.
So there's a surprise. Frankie Miller, Bob Dylan. We'll move on to it. First one. I'll be out. No pressure on you. If you don't get this, I'm questioning your loyalty, particularly you. So here we go. We all can guess a career trajectory for everyone we get right. Put £1 to the food banks. The match worn shirts doubling it. So at Christmas. So I'll only geese up to Killie, and then if he's need any other clues, we'll go thereafter. Hamilton Accies, Clyde, St Johnstone, Kilmarnock.
The good Lord.
Aye, that's Willie Waters. The Rang Hornets there, one.
What is it?
It's the good Lord, he'll decide.
Aye, exactly. Carpet fit of the year.
We're not genuflecting for any religious purposes.
Your man in the Andy in the forums, carpet fitter's his name.
You were talking about that
named after the great man.
Of course, Willie Waters, man. So I thought you would get that. I thought I would set you up there.
Callum Michael Scott. How could you ask us that question and expect us?
It was just for part of purposes.
I could tell the serial number of the tenner in his pocket now.
So we move on to player number 2, Airdrie, St Mirren, Kilmarnock. And I know that could be empty, but
Donny McDowell, no.
I'll give you the era. So 82-89 at Airdrie, 89-92 St Mirren, and then Kilmarnock 92-96.
92-96 Kilmarnock.
And he's already been mentioned.
Tommy Burns years. Airdrie, St Mirren, Kilmarnock.
Mentioned about 2 minutes ago.
You came at age via. I got about care homes picking up brochures during the day now. So
I can't mind who fucking played on Saturday.
92-89. Hold on.
Saturday's a good clue, I know.
just been stayed up.
Tom Black.
Aye, Tom Black.
Aye, so it is.
There you go. See the things that we do to raise money for the food
I
banks.
remember, I'm showing my age, Donny McDowell. Remember Donny McDowell played with us? He was for St Mirren.
We just
Don't know if he
give
was
away
there
questions. Right, this one's maybe a bit harder.
Oh, I know.
But you're only talking a couple of years after. Bolton Wanderers, Doncaster, Newcastle, Rotherham, Fortuna Sittard or whatever, Kilmarnock.
Aye, Fortuna Sittard rings a bell with me.
Aye. So he's kind of infamous for Kilmarnock for some of the wrong reasons. I think he came with a good rep. Well, that's a good.
Read them again, Callum.
Bolton, Doncaster, Newcastle, Rotherham.
A defender.
Nah, striker.
Oh, striker.
But you would maybe think he was a defender with his number and goal scoring record. Fortuna, Sittard, Kilmarnock, then Grimsby, Scunthorpe. War number 4, up top. Played with Killie for one season.
Michael Jeffrey.
That's exactly it. Well done, mate. There we go. 3 out of 3. £2 for each player, so £6 got to the food bank, lads. So well done for
good
that.
Work.
No, thank
good
you.
work, me.
I get Tom Black.
You get Tom Black.
Sorry, old boy.
After a spoon fed you.
Nah, you did. I we mentioned it.
So
you've got to factor in age here.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. But right, lads, do you want to get this? Do you want to get this? Great
complaint, right?
Aye.
What's the first thing when you and Paul stare at the before you get started in? What happens? What do you talk about?
Oh, the fit check.
Fashion.
Aye. Fit check.
No, I mentioned it. There's 10 sheep deed for this jumper and you're not interested.
Right.
Feel like, can you talk us through your choice of top tonight, Callum and Michael Scott?
3 years in front of the mirror.
Aye, was it?
All right.
Sit in the car
Ken, what
park.
yous are absolutely.
Take up my jeans on.
Well, yous are talking nonsense because I did talk about fashion. I spoke about how good yous looked on Saturday night when I met yous.
Aye, but it's for your
Baz looked like a mob boss.
Aye, no, aye. It is, if you heard of it.
But right, so give your fit check. What yous wearing?
No, just a big fat jumper because it's kind of cold getting into winter, so I thought I'd wear that.
Well, that's cosy.
Aye, it is quite cosy, aye.
And then Baz obviously promoting his
Baz
business.
is, aye, just self-promotion.
Night design t-shirts.
Self-promotion.
There we go. So, well, there's
for all your t-shirt needs.
Aye, night design. There we go, lads. Right, well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, mate.
And I hope I never bored the tears off you. And thank you for waiting as
we
well.
Love you dearly.
Over time. Same to Stu as well, who's waited over time.
Bored the tears off us.
Aye.
Very true. But aye, so thank you very much, lads.
Thank you.
No doubt you'll be on again soon.